precisely the weather you'd expect in mid-October in Hartford, Connecticut. Dillon Stadium, the site for this Week 33 matchup. Clear, crisp, 56 degrees. Fall foliage nearby in Hartford, Connecticut as the Athletic close out their season. This broadcast presented by Barberino Nissan, and Tampa Bay Rowdies pay their first ever visit to the Nutmeg State, looking for playoff seeding implications today. With Ryan Davis, Mike Watts, you take a look at the Eastern Conference standings right now. Hartford has been out of that mix for a while. Two teams are trying to find their way into the playoffs still. But for the Rowdies, you want to be at Al Lang Stadium next week.
Rowdies at Al Lang Stadium have been impeccable all season long. So it's desperate for them in this 90 minutes to try and get ahead, get a win so they can host that first round of the playoffs and show what this group, this Tampa Bay group, can do in this stretch run.
For Hartford, you think about what they have done well. They have beaten good teams this year, and it wouldn't surprise anyone given what they did on national TV last time out that they did it again.
Well, like their coach said, he's very pleased with their offense, and they put up a 4 spot on Birmingham just last week. It shows that this offense can erupt with young Bedoya sitting behind the strikers and creating chances, and oh, by the way, scoring some of his own. So this Hartford team can step up this competition, but defensively, that could be problems for them.
And think about the points that they've taken away from Birmingham and St. Louis. They've already played a giant role in who's in and who's out. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay, it's not been very good for a little while now. The ignition has to flick eventually, right?
Correct. The gas has been sort of sputtering in the engine right now. I think the offense is getting a little bit lulled, kind of predictable in the last third. And when the Rowdies don't get that early goal, they can get themselves in trouble, and that back three then has to defend against a perfect 0 on the other end.
And Guinzotti making sure to let Jordan Farr know he's not chicken, no, you're chicken. We've got lineups and kickoff coming up here in Hartford as Ralph's Mob hope they get one more home game at least. Hartford can enjoy tonight while they leave with smiles. Got plenty more coming up right after this. Dillon Stadium, penultimate home game this year, final one of the USL Championships regular season, and then there's a friendly coming up next weekend here at Dillon Stadium. Pregame presented by Barberino Nissan. Hartford and Tampa Bay taking the field with Ryan Davis, Mike Watts. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Hartford. It's presented by Premier Limousine. Why make too many changes? The only reason Horde is in is because Swartz is out ill.
Correct. Go with that same lineup that you dropped 4 on against Birmingham last week, with number 46, Bedoya, playing in that number 10 role. And oh, by the way, the ageless and Gula playing number 9 up top. Those two should combine tonight and make it fun on the offensive end.
Meanwhile, Premier Limousine starting lineup for Tampa Bay Rowdies. And, well, for them, 2 changes. Tejada's back after dealing with some injury issues. Sean Berrien, how does this actually look?
Well, Malik Johnson is going to be on that right-hand side, and Caleb Richards, we were told, was going to start on that left. But Caleb Richards may come back onto the left, play at left center back, with Sean Barry going on the right side, and Malik Johnson going on the left. This is your 20 minutes of jeopardy at the start of this, game.
Oh, man. Our injury report is presented by Trantolo and Trantolo. And Dixon and Jorgensen are both out. But how about this? Back in the 18, Tyler David and Max Steves. A miraculous comeback, Jimmy Nielsen termed it.
Well, it's going to be an emotional comeback for these guys. If they get on the field, you know this Hartford crew will be on their feet cheering them on. And for the Rowdies, Leo Fernandez, the left-sided Brazilian for the Rowdies, is going to be out. And Dominic Aduro, the Ghanaian, he's also going to be out, the defensive midfielder. So injuries on both ends. But we have 11 on the pitch, and that's all that counts.
About ready for kickoff here. Hartford and Tampa Bay with very different things to play for right now. Tampa Bay trying to hold on to number 4. Got a home game at Al Lang. Dillon Stadium tonight for Hartford. The expansion side looking for one last glorious moment to their first year of professional soccer in Hartford in this new millennium. Underway, USL Championships Week 33, Hartford and Tampa Bay.
So Rowdies coming out in their trusty 3-5-2 formation, and Hartford Athletic with a 4-2-3-1. So tonight, Andrew Tenari on one end and Danny Bedoya on the other, both playing the number 10 roles for their respective teams. It should be the battle of the number 10s, as they would say. Both the playmakers, they have to make things tick and make things happen in the last third, and that's how goals and chances are created.
Sergei Demianchuk is the referee for this affair. Drop back by Dalgard. He'll belong to Ray Lee.
Just looking at Juan Tejada chasing this ball. So much of the tools that he offers for this Rowdy team is his hustle up top, sort of disrupting the back four, where the distribution can become very uncomfortable for the opposing team, with Tejada chasing back there.
Well, Ryan, even going back to preseason, he was the big topic of conversation for the Rowdies. Expecting anything out of this kid may have been a big ask, and he responded by giving 10 goals.
He is one Rudy Tejada. He has all the attitude in the world, the work ethic, and he has a lot of skill to go along with it. So he's been a huge success in the Tampa Bay area, St. Pete area, and it's just been a load of fun to watch all year long.
And opposite him, Jose Angulo, the striker for Hartford, is, well, all reliable. Angulo stepping in through the challenge. Ball pinballing around, and it is a handball early on to give a set piece to Hartford. Neil Collins, interim last year. Well, really, forget interim. They took him from center back, installed him as the full-time head coach.
But how important were those couple of months that he took over last year? Sort of set the base of what he wanted the following year. And as a result, the Rowdies got off to this huge start in those first 17 games because he could have created what he wanted from earlier on since last season.
So often you'll see a team just play out the string with the guy they have.
Correct.
And the Rowdies rewarded for their aggressive move.
And vision.
Will be a set piece for Hartford Athletic in the early going. Ryan Williams standing behind the ball. Williams drives it. That's handled with ease, and Tejada sends it out to Lee.
Tricky spot for Ryan Williams. You don't want to float it too close to John McCarthy, but you have to get it past that initial first barrier.
DeVitt.
Oh, what a good pass, but good vision.
The flag kept it in for Dalgard. Goodness gracious, that's on the line. That is a golf shot. That is incredible. It's one of your golf shots. My golf shot gets shanked into the bleachers.
You're being too kind, Mike. Golf loves, I love golf, but golf does not love me. Of course, the trusty corner flag stops it. Malik Johnson now has to get into a defensive posture.
I can't remember the last time I saw a ball from that far out hit the flag like that.
Sign of things to come tonight.
We're going to be stuck in no man's land for another 86 minutes, perhaps.
With a no man's land with trusty corner flags all over us.
DeVitt steps in. Sam DeVitt, a center back turned holding midfielder a bit with this team.
You know, you talked about Angulo being all reliable. Sam DeVitt, I mean, he's undroppable for Coach Nielsen.
33 starts out of 34 games.
And he's only 24 years old. Hasn't hit his prime as yet. Can play at the centre-back position, like you said, or play in that very, very important holding midfield role.
Well, flicked on by Johnson and too far for Andrew Tenari. He might be the key to everything for Tampa Bay, especially if they're without Leo Fernandez. You don't know how Domodoro is going to bounce back. Andrew Tenari coming back into the fold here is going to be massive. He's a New York native, played at Columbia, played for Red Bull too after trialing there. He's the midfield talisman of the group, right?
Correct. This formation, like we talked about, the wing backs provide width, but goals have to come into the middle. The ball has to come back into the middle eventually. So when the ball is rolled back in, it's Andrew Tenari who's the one who pulls the strings and decides if the ball goes back outside or it goes forward to Gwenzati and Tejada. That's why that number 10 role is so important in this 3-5-2 formation that Coach Collins has sweared by all year long.
Back to McCarthy. Another Cropper, I should say. And Hartford drops back in to defend. Ball lined across. Didn't hit the target. Johnson will race on.
We talked about why Caleb Richards is on that left-hand side, just to provide that natural left footer at that left wing back position for crosses just like that. When Tenari sucks them in, you have to have a natural righty and a natural lefty on the wings to provide service.
Tarek Morad. Morad again, he was the one who came in midway through last year and helped settle what was at the time a very leaky Rowdy defense, especially losing their center back to the managerial position. Imagine becoming the head coach of a team and realizing your best center back is no longer available.
Could you imagine if he takes the wingtips on, puts on the cleats and runs out? Slacks and all. Oh.
Ball lined at Tejada and caught by Cropper.
Well, the early cross by Richards and the Fox in the box gets to the near post, making himself available like he always does, and gets a header, just a bit of a flick on. But it goes straight to goalkeeper Cody Cropper.
There's McCarthy. How could you not know McCarthy? He's got the Peter Cech headgear and such.
It's coming in style, Mike. It's going to come around the USL League pretty quickly.
Seeing it a little more often. It doesn't explain why you're wearing one. Another look at the opportunity here through Richards.
Caleb Richards, Mr. Versatile, playing left wing back tonight. Excellent cross, pinpoint cross onto Juan Tejada's head.
Tenari pressing on. Williams got it away. It's floated into the bleachers.
Rowdies have not gotten many headed goals this season, and they would love to be able to get one tonight with Caleb Richards providing service on that left-hand side. Actually, they've had 6 headed goals all season long. I'm sure Coach Collins would love number 7.
Truthfully, I get the feeling that doesn't really care how they come. Hartford's just played spoiler game in and game out. I mean, it's gotten to the point where the more I talk to coaches around the Eastern Conference, the more shy they are about taking a pot shot at Hartford this year.
You know, they say the most dangerous man in the room is the guy with nothing to lose. And that is Hartford coming down the stretch, playing with the freedom and creativity with a guy with nothing to lose. And as a result, their offense is clicking. Just ask Birmingham. Young Bedoya has worked his way back into the team. Coach said this guy has tremendous character, had a bit of bad form, and just grinded his way back in through practice, and now starts at this number 10 position.
A little bit of trouble. Guinzotti helped to force it free. Tejada slips it through, settled, played along to Tenari. Tenari sent that the wrong way.
Well, that sequence was typical Tampa Bay Rowdies. They won the ball through a counter press. Just in that tip of the first third, almost into the second third. Here's Hartford dispossessed by Guinzotti and Tejada. And they're off to the races now. Tejada to Guinzotti, who finds Tenari. And Tenari has the dummy runner of Malik Johnson. Goes on to the left stick and then finds the guy in Rosie.
Tenari, we'll see his time come here sooner than later. Ball flicked on, setting up potentially Angulo, and a good recovery by Sean Barry, who might be the fastest individual defender in the league.
Well, that's what Coach Nielsen talked about. They're going to play with speed in the last third, looking for that early ball into the box through the passing channels.
Barrera couldn't hook up with overlapping Elliott Horde. Here come the Rowdies through Johnson. Johnson one-on-one is a menace. Pings it around, and DeVitt providing the help defense with the lead.
Well, once Malik Johnson gets that ball on the right-hand side, cover has to come. And DeVitt came across and provided just that.
Taken by Cropper, and now Tejada is going to step forward. Played all the way back. Hartford Athletics' last home match isn't tonight. Saturday, October 26th at 7 p.m., Dillon Stadium. Boys in green back for a matchup against Portmore United. They're the reigning champions of the Jamaican National Premier League. Tickets start just $12. A portion of tickets, proceeds going to West Indian Foundation. Get your tickets today. HartfordAthletic.com. Call the Hartford Athletic ticket office or email tickets at HartfordAthletic.com for more information.
What do you think Coach Nielsen would have given him to play that game in Jamaica rather than in Hartford?
You guys were chatting. It was a little bit rainy in Hartford.
Yes. But what a great opportunity for Hartford, getting a look at these young Jamaicans to come forward. It's almost like a free trial to look at some of these players and maybe get a contract or two out of it.
Yeah.
With some young, bright talent from the island of Jamaica.
I mean, you look around the USL Championship right now, and they're dotted all over the place.
Correct. Jamaica has a lot to offer.
Montego Bay, Portmore United. I mean, some teams that have put some serious talent into the U.S. over the years. Hartford Athletic would like to expend a special thank you to our title partner, Trinity Health of New England.
Looks like the referee is correcting the Rowdies, saying it was an offside. So the free kick has to be taken further back. And Seba Guinzotti, of course, is going to have a question or two.
Well, Guinzotti had a bit of a run-in with Jordan Farr, the goalkeeper from Indy 11. Came out, some words not quite comfortably fit for air. Large in part called Guinzotti a chicken. And Guinzotti flapped his way right by after knocking the penalty through.
It takes some guts to call Guinzotti, who has scored 6 straight penalties all season long, a chicken when he's right atop the ball 12 yards out. Of course, Guinzotti converted number 7, and the chicken dance came out in Al Lang Stadium just a week ago.
Tenari.
You know, he's such an emotional player for this Rowdies team, not only on the bench and in the locker room, but on the field as well. Just a real leader. Sebastian Guenzati.
Guenzati in the middle of the box alongside Tejada. And stripped away.
Again, good defensive cover by DeWitt, trying to prevent Tenari getting that ball. Don't want him pulling his strings in the last third. Going to make him play his back towards goal as much as possible.
We're asking Jimmy Nielsen about the fans, the message he had for them back end of this season, and just reminded us the highlight of our year. I mean, just amazing support day one. He knew there were ups and downs along the way, and the record would say more downs than ups, but I think he was really proud of the team, and I think genuinely just very excited to get that win on Wednesday night a couple weeks ago in that pouring rain in front of the fans that came out. A 4-0 win against Birmingham. Tejada whipping across through. It'll be a corner.
That all started with Malik Johnson on that right-hand side. So tough to cover in a one-on-one situation. Just gets by defenders. And he did just that. Pulled 3 defenders away, released one Tejada, who's always in motion. Just couldn't find Guenzati at that last post. But just going back to the fans, it's just the pulse of this sport in this country. And Hartford just personifies that. Has a rough season, but they all show up week in and week out. Just a story in itself. Oh.
Guenzati, just wide of the post. It was blocked regardless. That is a clever little turn there from Guenzati.
Yeah, with one problem that Tampa has had all season long is unable to get goals off of corner kicks and set pieces. This time they take the short route as Guenzati just peels off his guy and goes to the first post. Accurate pass by Tenari, but no cigar.
Tejada, his locks flowing behind him.
The shortest man with the longest hair, as Ralph Mobbs always chants week in and week out in Alang.
Bedoya, what a goal he scored against Birmingham. Slip ball through is on point. And Gulo faces up, slips it through, Dalgard! Swerved it wide. That had a ton of whip on it. Really well done by Hartford to span most of the length of the field in 3 passes.
But it all started with the pass that split the lines. This one's played to Angulo. Look at him, takes his time, comes inside, just fakes his way in and just releases Will. And the number 7, Delgado, just trying to find that last post with the mid-range curler, just inches wide.
Felt like Dalgard was going to have an outstanding game against Birmingham, and I would argue he did. That play ended up being offside in the end. Hartford Athletic would like to recognize the Hartford and all of its founding partners for the 2019 season. This is a really nice crowd on a crisp night in New England.
Just beautiful. I think it was 56 degrees.
Yeah, kickoff.
Our kickoff. Beautiful sweater weather.
It'll stay with the Rowdies, and they may play quick. They'll slow it down now.
Just looking at the tempo of this Rowdies team, it's a must-win if they want to host a first-round playoff game.
I mean, if you're waiting for New York and Louisville to both drop points.
Yes, that's why it's sort of understood. But they seem to be taking their time. They're not overcommitting, allowing the game to come to them. Coach Collins says they play every game to win, and tonight's not going to be any different, but they're going to stay within themselves. Not get crazy and push too many extra bodies up top, but they're going to counter press just on that first third of the field.
Johnson, and a little run by Davey. You know, you think about how Hartford came into this game planning to play. Both teams admitted they wanted to be on the front foot. Both teams admitted they wanted to put some serious effort into pressing in this game. I'm not sure I've seen Tampa Bay possess the ball in their own half yet. They haven't had to, and so if you're Hartford, your press is sort of null and void.
You actually have to try and get back possession and just any way you can right now against this Rowdies team. But because of the 3-5-2, it's a little conservative because the wing backs have to start from so deep. So there is a lot of possession when you do play this formation. It's a very patient offense, if you will. And that's why this Hartford team has to concede some possession against this Rowdies team.
Tejada moving it. Davey knocks it back to Cropper, who kicks the Select ball away. Select, the official ball supplier, the USL Championship, and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit selectsportamerica.com. Poku covers a lot of ground and plays it over to McCarthy. Gosh, Poku is a name that fans in the Northeast are going, yeah? Poku? This is great.
That's right.
It's fan favorite.
You know, we talked about Bedoya playing himself into the team. Kwadu Poku was in no man's land with trusty corner flags all around him. And he found a way to get back into this Neil Collins setup, playing in a deeper role, turning into an orchestrator rather than an attacking midfielder, and finding his niche. Has that big body, so when he goes on those runs, he's like a bull in a china shop, knocking bodies off the ball, and then has a great touch on the ball to dictate the flow for this Rowdies team from deep.
Sprayed by Williams in a way that ultimately was kept. Played briefly, but quite long enough for Barrera. And a lot of these fans probably recognize Poku from New York City Football Club. They may recognize Bedoya from NYCFC. But a couple of the other names that maybe stand out in New England, Cody Cropper coming from New England Revolution. Look at the Rowdies. There's a handful of guys. Guinzotti played for the Cosmos.
Just a testament to this USL setup, providing such a great atmosphere and environment to showcase talent. Of course, 3 different tiers now in the USL. Exactly what United States Soccer needed.
League 2 long since completed. Over on ESPN Plus tonight, North Texas is playing Greenville Triumph, John Hart's team, in the League 1 final in Texas.
So good to see those U.S. national team players from the past coming back up and starting to use their knowledge and spread it to the youngsters.
North Texas team this year was a juggernaut. Slip ahead, Angulo. Flag is up. Flag is up against Angulo's run.
Those 3 attacking midfielders, Barrera, Bedoya, and Delgado, are causing havoc right now. Lovely through ball. Look at Angulo, just on the shoulder. Looks to be on the shoulder of Diakite. But the linesman decided it was offside. That's how close it was for the Colombian, getting a golden opportunity for the home team. Mike, you know your way around the Connecticut area.
I do, a bit.
Have you been to this stadium before?
I have
tonight?
not been lucky enough, no. Have seen multiple games at Dillon Stadium. You know, this is a stadium with decades and decades of history, but not much of it in my lifetime. This is sort of the new era. Kind of like Al Lang.
Yes.
Renovate it and turn it into a whole new deal. Really pretty special. You spend time talking with people from the Connecticut area who grew up with Hartford professional soccer years and years ago. I could have listened to Janusz Mihalik tell me about it for hours. It's enthralling, the history of Hartford's professional soccer, but it's finally back now.
Yeah, and such great support. Look at these stands. The crowd is showing up. They're making noise, cheering them on, creating a great environment for their home team.
It's a little harder at Al Lang. They're concrete stands there. These aluminum bleachers. You don't even need a drum. You just bounce around a bit, get the job done.
Just need a pair of wingtips and the steel.
Yeah.
And you're good to go, right?
I didn't know I had tap dancing Ryan Davis next to me, eh? Floated ball. Cleared away. That was Gadula. He's on loan from FC Cincinnati. Bedoya. Head up. He's looking for support. Bypasses Johnson.
Beautiful. The forward passes to Angulo, those direct passes have been so accurate so far for Hartford, really making it easy to find space and give themselves some room away from that Rowdies press.
That's well defended there by Pape Diakite.
You know, one of the keys for tonight's match was the ability for Hartford to play with speed in the final third. And it just shows that the attacking midfielders that they show up with, Bedoya, Barrera, Delgado, just have great vision and quick wit in the last third. And so far, it's been close calls for Tampa yet again.
Delgado got that through, and Angulo got it just a touch. He, I think, felt he may have been dragged on.
But the service has been there for Angulo so far. Now on the Rowdies end, as much as we talk about Tenari, Kwadwo Poku coming in from deep is going to have to get more involved offensively. Oh, Malik Johnson, one touch and he's by his first man.
For Tejada, that gets lifted away. Speared up by Morad. One more touch trying to unleash Guinzotti. Guinzotti on 18 goals. All he needs is 4 tonight to go grab the golden boot, wrest it away from Solomon Asante from Phoenix out in the west.
Yeah, nothing like scoring a beaver trick on the last game of the season to wrap up the golden boot.
Where do they call it, a beaver trick?
A beaver trick, that's what you call 4 goals on the night.
I'll take your word for it.
Yes, sir. And you can use that, Mike Watts, from here on in.
Is that only in Trinidad? Where is that?
No. It's just hit the shores of the United States of America. Got past with a visa and all.
Yeah. 26 minutes in.
Oh, lovely.
Offside flag up with Johnson pushing.
Good job by Hartford playing that high line. Not allowing Rowdies players just to loaf into those attacking positions. Those runs have to come from deep in order to penetrate that back line.
Well, it appears Hartford is showing just how much better they've become since these teams met back in April. I mean, at the time, that was the 8-game road trip to start. Barrera has slipped by. Barrera playing it forward. Angulo overrun. Barry and Diakite came together to deny Angulo the opportunity.
Well, again, this Rowdies backline playing very high to go along with their press. Got sucked in and the ball came around the sides. Barrera, good service into Angulo again, but excellent recovery by Sean Barry and company to deny the Colombian a chance.
Anywho, you were, I think, at Al Lang Stadium for that 4-0 drubbing earlier this year. I mean, that's more or less Hartford at the bottom. But Jimmy Nielsen said, hey, we got outclassed that day. Absolutely outplayed.
Yeah, but I think it's like what we touched on before with Coach Collins starting last season, had that game plan already set months in advance and had his team running on all cylinders earlier clock. But Coach Nielsen, to his credit, had to come in, build with a hammer and stone and put his team together. And of course, they started off slowly while the Rowdies started off quickly. As we see Saber Quenzati with a South American trickery.
I think that's probably how Horde sees it.
Yeah, yes.
And these swaying fans hadn't even gotten to the rent yet, much less Dillon Stadium by that time. Running ball that Zadi puts on the deck.
This Hartford team, 8 games to start the season on the road. I mean, who can ask of any coach or any player to start on the road for 8 games and be surprised of some negative results along the way.
And I believe 7, if not all 8 teams that they played made the playoffs in the end. I asked Jimmy Nielsen probably 2-3 weeks ago about it, the head coach for Hartford. What's the biggest adjustment you would have made, the biggest mistake? As Poku gives chase here. He goes, I would have gone at the league a little bit harder for a more, for a better schedule at the start, for a bye week in there somewhere.
It must be said, no Christmas cards being sent to the league on behalf of Coach Nielsen and Hartford this year. They've been scratched off the list.
By also saying we wouldn't mind getting sent to the West, where expansion teams had a little more success. New Mexico is on the cusp of the playoffs, but they're waiting for others. Austin is in. Floated up the right-hand side for Barrera. Bedoya couldn't take it back.
Just a shrewd bit of soccer by Barrera. Every time Caleb Richards gets sucked up with that press, he just goes just beyond him, in between Tariq Murad and Caleb Richards, and finds that gap, that outlet for Hartford.
Advantage played. Angulo trying to keep his feet. He did. He turns.
I've never seen a number 9 that didn't like a shot, didn't see a shot that they didn't like. And Angulo back to facing the other end, looking at his left midfielder, swivel, turns, and has a crack. But that's what you pay your number 9 to do, and Coach Nielsen will not be angry at his forward. If there's a sniff at goal, has to take that shot. And sometimes they do go in, Mike Watts.
Once in a while. Historically, a little more than once in a while, believe it or not. 2017 went over to Oklahoma City. I mean, Jimmy Nielsen said, you know, I saw him in Pittsburgh. He won a league MVP award not too long ago. 5 years ago now. Time does fly, doesn't it?
It does.
But sort of took him out of purgatory. Turned him into a top-tier goal scorer once again. This year, Angulo sitting on 6 goals. Got off of DeVitt.
No, it's in scenarios like this where the ball is deep in Hartford's area, in Hartford's half, where the Rowdies try to press, counter press, and get easy goals. Now that the Rowdies have gained possession, it gets a little bit harder. All of Hartford's team is in their own half, and the Rowdies actually have to break them down here. As we can see, Sean Barry with the errant pass. It gets so much tighter in that last third when everyone is sitting back. And it almost gets easier when the other team has possession, and the Rowdies in this instance are trying to press and get that goal.
Well, Hartford has most certainly opened this game up. Horde, Angulo! Well, if he got the right touch on that, it's by McCarthy, but he didn't, and McCarthy was able to handle it.
Well, the service was epic. A beautiful curling cross. Excellent cross this time by Horde, and Angulo just couldn't finish it off. Coach Collins is going to have to make some adjustments with Caleb Richards and Tariq Murad picking up those right backs, right full backs, and right midfielders coming forward.
Hartford Athletic fans, you can be sure to vote for your Cigna Man of the Match on Twitter throughout the game, hashtag Cigna MOTM. Davey puts this out for a corner. Angulo, if he cans a chance or two, will find himself in the Man of the Match conversation. A little ways away from that. Big corner here for Tampa Bay to try and reassert themselves a bit.
Now this is where Coach Collins sort of challenged Papi Diakite, trying to get his center back on the scoring sheet. It provides so much relief when you can get goals from set pieces from your center backs. And Papi Diakite yet to score this season, even though he has been the prime target on set pieces.
Bedoya. Johnson whiffed. Here comes Hartford. Early ball across, handled. It's Caleb Richards getting back.
Well, Caleb Richards sparing Malik Johnson's blushes tonight, as Malik Johnson whiffed one. But good recovery by Richards.
Barrera, Lee. Swerves that through the penalty area, handled by Bedoya. Came by DeVitt. Much better from Hartford in, say, the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, the midfield definitely seems to be locked in. Everyone seems to want to get on the ball. They're comfortable on the ball despite the Rowdies' pressure. They seem to be dialed in the last third, providing a lot of service for Angulo, whether it's through the wings or through the middle. I think this is the area where the Rowdies miss Dominic Duro. He's so good at blocking off the passing lanes and disrupting plays in the last third in front of that back three. Jordan Doherty, of course, just turning 19 years old, has been an excellent substitute for Aduro. But Dominic Aduro definitely offers a little extra bite in that center circle.
Tenari lining that off the base of Davey. Poku. Doherty. Back out to Barry.
Heavy touch by Malik Johnson, trying to just play that ball into Tejada first time.
This skids across. Barry.
Beautiful.
Johnson. We'll say this about Ray Lee, and I think it's started to be talked about a bit. He's not flashy. He has held his own against some really solid wing players in the last month.
All about position in there. Malik Johnson with a great turn, but really, like you said, just positioning was epic. His defensive awareness is amazing. Just getting in between him and the goal, Malik Johnson that is, and the goal, and just shepherding the ball out of play. That is textbook defending from your left back.
Good catch on the bench. It's with Hartford here. It's worth noting, I'm perusing Twitter yesterday. Seton O'Connor from the Dan Patrick Show, a devout fan of Hartford Athletic, found his way all the way out to Phoenix for Dollar Beer Night yesterday. Where they're now 15-0-0 on that night.
Wow.
Barrera. I'm interested to see what jersey he wears on Monday. Ball for Dalgard. Falls kindly. Angulo lets it go.
Well, the chances are coming. And Jose Angulo eventually is going to take one. Here it is again. Excellent ball in by Gadulo. Falls to Angulo, and he rips this one. And it just whizzes past John McCarthy's left post. But the number 9 has his chances, had his chances so far in this half.
Lee.
Beautiful ball by Lee.
Barrera settles, serves, deflects. The crowd thought that was an obvious handball.
And now it looks to be a free kick against Sueba Ganzati.
The crowd is chanting for VAR. Only we get to look at the replay.
There's Barrera now coming on his left foot. Caleb Richards turning his back on the ball. His hand is tucked in.
Oh.
Once your hand is against the body, it's now part of the body.
It's not.
So as a result of that, it cannot be a handball, especially when the player is not even facing the ball. And his hand was in a natural position. Excellent call by the referee. Hand against the body now becomes part of the body.
I think he turns one arm in. I think the other is still hanging out.
Yeah, but it hits the arm, the hand that's on the body though, not the one that's sticking out.
This is why I can't be the one working VAR. Maybe it shows up, but it shouldn't be me.
We probably average about 4 penalties a game. Saber Gwenzati would get his beaver trick tonight.
He sure would.
If he were doing the VAR, Mike.
Yeah. That was what, like five yards outside the box? Not only is it a handball, it's in the box. Not so much.
Great distribution by Puku. Feeling the pressure and turning away from it.
Johnson separated shoulder, slowed him down early, but he's a massive part of the team over the course of the years. 23rd appearances, 19th start. Tejada, real gnat right now. Ultimately, he's the one who committed the foul.
That's exactly what you want from your forward, though. You said you're going to press before the game, and your forward, who dictates the press. You don't mind him giving up fouls like that. Shows the intensity and the intention.
Went into Logan Gadula.
Tejada, poor touch, excellent defensive effort, it has to be said. And look at his screening by Gadula.
That was a powerful approach by Diakite. Play that further. Back to Gadula, native of East Lyme in Connecticut. It's about 50 miles away from Hartford over on the coast. Gadula, drafted by Cincinnati, loaned to Phoenix, didn't fit in there, came to Hartford. It's been crucial. That's a high hand and a yellow card as well for Williams.
Interesting to see how high this hand was. Referee had no doubt about it, went straight to the book. Here it is again. It was Doherty screening the ball, and Williams' hand, the left hand came across and got Tanari flush in the jaw. Didn't get it at that angle, but the angle before, the left hand from Williams catching Tanari. Maybe a little bit unlucky to get the yellow card. But I think referees these days, once the arms, the elbows, or the wrists come above that neck area,
it's absolutely a point of emphasis.
Your name goes into the telephone book.
So far, it's a pretty thin book. This is a C-spot run. By the time we're done, it might be a tale of two cities. Tejada. I'm young enough, I don't know that I've seen many phone books. Can you Google that?
Just rub it in, Mike.
Yeah,
That's
I
fine.
know.
Doherty.
Tejada circling around Horde. That clearance left a bit to be desired. Referee allowing play to continue, and rightfully so. Sent away by Hartford with Richards on the doorstep.
Logan Gadula is having an excellent half. Just so quick to react to the ball. Just snuffed out that opportunity from the Rowdies.
And Zadi intercepts Davey. Road to the 2019 USL Championship final begins next week. Playing games on Wednesday, followed by a full slate of conference quarters. It begins Saturday, October 26th. Specific match dates and times, you can go to uslchampionship.com. Tune in to every minute of playoff action on ESPN Plus, leading up to the final on November 17th, exclusively on ESPN2. It will also air on ESPN Deportes. Ball across, got through the wickets of everybody. Tejada never could have seen that coming.
Well, Tanari just trying to find an ounce of space to whip that one across. It was a rather tame cross at that, but Gadula just somehow misread it. It went through him, and Juan Tejada just could not react. But that was an opportunity for the Rowdies.
Johnson early, and this ball will get away. DeVitt thought he was fouled. Referee allows play to continue here. 43 minutes gone, and still Tampa Bay in search of the 3 points that would set them clear into fourth. 1 point leaves them in a perilous position as it stands in the playoff seeding implication race here on the final day of the regular season.
Well, Poku trying to be penetrative with his pass.
Angulo sprinting forward after spraying it wide. Barrera stares down Williams, plays to DeVitt. Overlap arrives. Horde crossing. Angulo is there. It's a little too hot, little too high.
Well, the service was there again. Horde coming around that right-hand side. DeWitt waiting for him. Another peach of a cross, and Angulo just, again, point-blank range. Just couldn't finish it, the number 9. It came in hot. And the speed of it, Angulo just couldn't catch up to it. And as a result, throw into the Rowdies.
Updates elsewhere around the USL Championship right now. Games with big implications. Reno blows out Tulsa 3-0. They are the 2 seed. Fresno is 3. Monarchs beat Sacramento. Means the Republic, regardless of what happens on Monday, will be in a play-in game on Wednesday. And the Monarchs are hosting a quarterfinal. They are the 4 seed. The Battery get into the playoffs by virtue of their 5-1 win against Bethlehem. Ottawa trail Charlotte. They're battling for home playoff positioning in the play-in game. This bounces all the way through to McCarthy. Elsewhere, a big result in relation to the Rowdies. Loudoun United, 15 minutes in, have jumped up on Red Bulls 2 2-0 at Segra Field in Virginia. Indore and Bustamante. And it gives the Rowdies a little bit of breathing room, but also opens the door wide to the current number 6 seed, Louisville City, the twice reigning champions, who are in Memphis tonight. Halftime here, and, well, the pressure starting to mount maybe a little bit on the Rowdies.
Well, the Loudoun score will give them a little bit of a sigh of relief, but if this score holds like it is right now in the second half, the Rowdies will be kicking the cans all the way home. Coach Collins will have to get into the ears of his men at halftime, try to re-energize them, have them play with a little bit more motion in the last third to create some more chances and get a score in the second half.
And for Hartford, so far so good.
Yeah, you can't, Coach Nielsen cannot complain. His team has come from so far back in this season. This half has shown how far they've come. After losing to the Rowdies 4-0 early on in the season, they've matched them head-to-head in the first 45 minutes.
Scoreless here at halftime. We got highlights, stats, news, and notes from the league. We'll talk standings when we come back. Welcome back, everybody. Hartford, Connecticut, Dillon Stadium. Not too late to buy in for next year. Fan season ticket renewals have already begun. If you're interested in becoming a new season ticket member, stay tuned for more information. Passion, pride, perks. Become a member today to get all the best benefits. Go to hartfordathletic.com/tickets for more information. You can join all the great fans that have been a part of this season all year long. Sometimes it's the little things. First time a kid goes to a professional soccer match. First time you get a pretzel at a game. Maybe it's your first goal, first win. It's been a year of first for Hartford Athletic.
What this club is trying to do is offer a real sense of community.
But it's all about the process. Make sure you're doing the little things right.
They have a really strong locker room, and everybody really wants to do well for the club.
Good afternoon, Facebook. This is is a big day. This is a big deal for them. This is a win for the community.
You know, we've been averaging, between, I would say, 10 and 12,000 a game.
And it is a loud, boisterous 10,000, 12,000, and they love us, and we love them just as much. I mean, it's a reciprocal relationship at all times.
We never thought that we would grow this fast.
I have to pinch myself because, it sometimes seems too good to be true, but it's not. It's been pretty unbelievable, and it's been done better than I ever could have dreamt of, to be honest.
This is a club for New Mexico, by New Mexicans.
And I don't think that we're done yet. It's just getting started.
Wonderful stuff from ESPN FC and New Mexico United documenting their expansion season, their great run in the Open Cup. And wow, what a series of firsts. First win, first goal. It's been something else. Let's take a look at news and notes from around the USL Championship, Ryan. And we don't know what tomorrow's game is going to mean. It could mean a ton at the top, the bottom, or both.
Yeah, tonight is going to be the decider. So many playoff implications that can happen tonight. Could make tomorrow just completely irrelevant. But it's all going to be left out. It's all going to be left to be decided in the next 45 minutes. And so hang on to your hairnets. It's going to be interesting.
No Christmas cards from the league office for
no
you
Christmas card,
either.
Clearly.
And
so.
2019 USL Championship final. As the playoffs begin Wednesday, the final is set for Sunday, November 17th. Team with the most points will host. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time kick. It'll be live on ESPN2 and ESPN Deportes. Here's what's going on right now. As soon as we went to halftime, Jared Stroud scored for Red Bulls 2, and all of a sudden things are all wide open again. St. Louis scoreless at halftime. They must win that game.
And this is all about the coach's half. The second half is the coach's half. St. Louis have to come out. The coach has to implement a game plan to try and get a goal for the St. Louis FC team and try and squeeze their way into the last 10. Same thing for... What about Loudoun United? Does anybody want to go and play Loudoun United right now? They're collecting scalps every week. And looks like New York Red Bulls' head is on the block right now. And they finally got a goal back. But Loudoun, you don't want to play them right now.
Thank goodness
yes.
No one has to.
Exactly.
Their season is over.
Yeah.
Birmingham right now is in. Their game is tomorrow. They would not be usurped by a draw by St. Louis. St. Louis must win. Top 9 have already clinched, but they don't know where the seeds are just yet. Louisville could jump all the way to 4th. Nashville could jump. Pittsburgh. Indy is stuck at 3. They know where they're going to be. Everyone else,
Charleston Battery going to have that playoff game on Wednesday.
Yes.
And Indy, of course, like you said, are in that 3rd spot. They're not going to move anywhere. Just interesting if Pittsburgh Riverhounds could hold on and win the league championship, which is very important. So we'll see if the Riverhounds can hold on.
We're going to find out. Meanwhile here, Hartford and Tampa Bay. Level terms at the break. Is this enough for the Rowdies to secure number 4? We're going to find out. Highlights from the first half coming up.
We don't just protect things. We help protect the life you've built around them. Travelers, it's better under the umbrella.
Where some see a barber, I see a magician. I see Hugo, of Hair by Hugo. Wizard of Whiskers. sorcerer of scissors, Houdini of hair. Hugo is a small business owner. Me, I'm the Hartford Buck, and I see nothing small in small business.
The Hartford Small Business Insurance. The Buck's got your back.
Nick, we need a decision. These days, we all feel a little anxious sometimes. But if you could see inside my mind, you'd find I go to my happy place. See, if we let tensions run the show up here, then our bodies won't perform at their best out here.
Wait, are we going to the sound check?
Priorities. So I'm partnering with Cigna to remind you that how you're doing emotionally affects you physically. Go for your annual checkup and be open with your doctor about anything you're feeling, physically and emotionally. Body and mind. Cigna, together all the way.
Hartford Athletic at home one more time here tonight in the regular season. They'll play friendly next week against Portmore United. Let's take a look at our first half highlights. As things stand, we are scoreless from the opening kickoff. It felt like the Rowdies controlled the majority of possession, got forward, and at times their service was incisive.
Yeah, both on the wings through Caleb Richards and Malik Johnson, they did create chances. But it just seemed like this Hartford team was more penetrative with their passes. They had more opportunities despite the Rowdies having more possession. As we see Delgado just inches away from opening the scoring at that far post. Here it is again, coming through the middle to Angulo. He was on the shoulder of Diakite, and the linesman called it offside. But again, this Hartford team, excellent 45 minutes. The front four with the three attacking midfielders and the one forward, creating all sorts of havoc. Just getting behind that Rowdies press and creating chances for themselves.
Well, neither side felt the need to make changes at the halftime break. We'll see who can break out first. The start of this year, I asked Jimmy Nielsen to describe the Eastern Conference versus the Western Conference. He said after his 5 years in OKC that you'll get run over if you aren't ready at the opening whistle in the Eastern Conference, that it's 60, 70 minutes of kicking and scratching and fighting and grinding. Barrera gives chase, and it's easily lassoed by McCarthy. And then the game will open up a little bit, and that was certainly the case last week against Birmingham, and it may well be the case as the Rowdies need to get the 3 points to assure a home playoff game. And for Hartford, you just want to leave with a W, right?
Correct. You want to finish on a high note in front of your fans. As you see, Juan Tejada must get open. But yeah, you want to finish on a high note in front of your fans to get some sort of momentum going into next season for your second season. As for the Rowdies, you want to just get back home to Al Lang and try to cap off a historic season for this Rowdies team at home for their first round of the playoffs.
You know, I don't know that we've talked nearly enough about just how historic this Rowdies season is. You know, you think about who they lost year over year, and Joe Cole is obviously the biggest name. But if you follow this league over the years, Georgi Hristov certainly stands out. Marcel Schaefer, Neil Collins retires and becomes the manager. You know, you can go on. You know, Martin Vingard leaves. You're talking giant names in Rowdy culture. And from that, they've set their point and win record for the modern era. As turning this through is Horde for Hartford, and that'll bounce out.
I think a lot of that came from getting younger.
Yes.
And being able to be better defensively. So now they go on the road and they get points on the road. They have an excellent record on the road as compared to last season and seasons before. The Rowdies away from Al Lang,
bad.
Woeful.
This will flow too far. Williams settles, shoots, off the post and in! Ryan Williams! And Hartford's opening up in the second half again!
Well, they were knocking on the door in the first half, and now the door has been answered. Service from the right, and Ryan Williams on the left stick. What a finish. Here it is. Early crossing by Horde, gets to the byline, all the way to the last post. It pops out to Williams, dings it off the post, gives John McCarthy no chance. What a finish by Ryan Williams. Left foot, 1-0, Hartford on top.
For Ryan Williams, goal number 4 this year. Guy has played in the English Championship, the Scottish Premier League. Played in Brazil for a while, believe it or not. Full time playing futsal in England. I mean, this guy's been all over the place.
You know, after you play in so many different countries, playing a game tonight is just like drinking a cup of tea.
Well, there's an injury for Tampa Bay, and they're continuing to play through that for now. Johnson, this game could get absolutely wild. I think fans should probably buckle up. You said hang on to your hairnet?
Hang on to your hairnets.
Gonzati's back up.
Rowdies, of course, desperate for a result tonight. Now down a goal.
Slip through for Tejada. Poku again. This time Barrera cuts it out. Elsewhere, Loudon has converted a penalty. Kyle Murphy, it's 3-1 Loudon now, which would still leave Tampa Bay in position to take the 4 seed pending the result of the Louisville game. Not that this is how they want to get in to that spot, but I'm sure they'll take it backing in or sprinting in. Tejada. The league's most surprising double-digit goal scorer, and that gets out for a goal kick.
You know, you want to talk about the difference between Rowdies conceding first or scoring first. When conceding first, like right now, Rowdies are 2 wins, 7 losses, and 5 draws. Talk about cards stacked up against you statistically when conceding first. So now it's going to be really uphill for this Rowdies team. When they've scored first, the Rowdies are 6 wins, 6 losses, and 4 draws. So now, Coach Collins is going to have to look to his bench, look for Jan Ekra and company to come into this game and try to change a thing or two.
Meanwhile, Loudon has just scored again. It's 4-1 there. So Red Bulls 2 are crumbling right in front of our eyes. And Louisville, who not too long ago were like, so maybe we'll go on the road in the playing game, could actually vault themselves into 4th and get a home playoff game to start. And if they did so and all other results held, watch out. Barrera! McCarthy able to steer it aside and then dive atop it. It would be Rowdies at Slugger in the first round of the playoffs on Saturday if all results held and a Louisville win.
Well, here Hartford gets behind that press again, and the ball ends up to Barrera. Gets his laces on it. With 2 straights, it was 2 straight, and John McCarthy, with strong hands, parries it away. But that Rowdies at Slugger Field is mouth-watering in itself, though. What a game that's going to be.
Now, it's worth noting that actually Louisville could jump Tampa Bay if Tampa Bay were to lose by a certain margin and Louisville were to draw. Hartford would need to score a dozen more goals to get to that.
Right.
Yeah, no. Horde. Ball bouncing through, left off by Angulo. Angulo kept it alive. Angulo turns, and DeVitt wanted that at his feet the whole time. And, well, for Angulo, he was just sort of stranded there.
Well, this Hartford team is carving up the Rowdies right now. It's Horde again on that right-hand side. Excellent service. Puts it right into the mixer. Angulo flicks it up, takes 2 touches, and kicks it wide. But again, the number 9 with service from his right back. And here comes Hartford again with possession. Rowdies can't seem to find their feet since the half. Kadu Puku with that big body of his.
And Tampa Bay will move forward the other way. Malik Johnson a bit heavy. Horde took over.
Looks like Caleb Richards has gone back to his natural left center back position. Malik Johnson on the left-hand side, Sean Barry on the right, and Tarek Murad gone back to right center back.
Striding forward, DeVitt. Got a little push at the back end, and he's still arguing with the referee that constituted enough for a free kick. The referee says very clearly no.
Well, I think DeVitt may have a point, and Harry comes in just at the backside of him and bumps him right as he's about to shoot. Almost like a basketballer shooting a three and getting hit on the hands. This time DeVitt getting clipped on the back of the heels.
You know, I know not every game started at the same time as Tejada watches that pop up off him. He couldn't hold on. Different teams in different time zones make this a little bit different than it might be in England or a country that maybe spans less geography. But man, is it fun right now looking through all the possibilities with the current results as they're going. Some games just kicking off, others past halftime.
Just a breath of fresh air that America has this to offer.
Toward Tejada, that gets lofted out. Gadula was there. And a handball. There's a bit of confusion here. Got up on Doherty.
Doherty goes up for the header, and it's a handball on number 46, Bedoya. And of course, Hartford gets the free kick.
Memphis just took the lead against Louisville. That's in the 9th minute in Memphis. Pierre De Silva scored there. The Rowdies could back into the number 4 seed if all results currently held. That got between the feet of Morad. He drives it the other way. Morad won a title with Louisville a couple of years ago. And kicked away by Guenzati.
I would have loved to be in a fly on the wall for Coach Nielsen talking to these guys before the game, even to the lead up like yesterday. This Hartford team is playing with such heart, such vigor. They're the first to every loose ball. They're making tireless runs in between the lines for the Rowdies. They're getting back and smothering the wing play of Malik Johnson. They're ticking every box. And oh, by the way, this is the second to last Hartford team here playing against the number 4 team in Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Yeah.
And you couldn't tell by the type of play on the field.
Well, you're seeing some of those scores rotating the top right of your screen, those all relating to playoff seeding right now, in particular to the Rowdies. Gosh, this is crazy.
Looks like the top teams have a bit of playoff jitters in this last 90 minutes of football. Rowdies down 1-0. Blue City down 1-0. New York Red Bulls being dismantled as we speak.
Yeah, didn't see that coming. It's worth noting both these teams, not necessarily in their current iteration, part of the old NASL back in the 70s, the Bicentennials in Connecticut, the Hartford or Connecticut Bicentennials, including their time at Dillon Stadium. The great Derek Smethurst led Tampa Bay Rowdies that won it all in 1975. Was it still the Soccer Bowl then?
Not sure.
Floated ball, that didn't get very far.
Oh, good decision by Bedoya, using some patience.
Bedoya. Hartford and Tampa Bay weren't in the same division back then, but they were in the same conference back in 1975 when all that occurred. This will take a high hop and get cleared away.
A call went Hartford's way just minutes ago, and it looks like one has gone against them here. DeVitt again being aggressive, getting the ball Ball bounces, Tenari keeping his eye on David. David goes up, heads the ball cleanly. Tenari in the way. And the referee calls for a foul.
Poku. Rowdies starting to get some of their numbers forward here.
Well, they're a high possession team, and that sort of brings up the confidence, gets their rhythm going.
Floated ball over Guinzotti, seeking out the wing player, Malik Johnson. And another clearance, this time it's Davey. Still more now for the Rowdies. We've seen this movie before, but Johnson this time can't corral it. Hartford Athletic fans, time to go vote for your Cigna Man of the Match on Twitter. You can use the hashtag Cigna, M-O-T-M. Loudon has made it 5-1.
It's New York Red Bulls on the pitch. I mean, 5 goals.
New York Red Bulls 3, maybe. What has happened there? Some days it just ain't there, folks. Oh.
What a night for it not to be there.
No kidding. Gordon Wild just scored. Kyle Murphy's got a brace, and that's still short of halftime.
Wow, 45 more minutes to go in that game. Well, we've seen Lou City last week put 8 after 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's not all out of the reach for the Red Bulls.
Let it be known, Red Bulls also missed a penalty. Their multi-million-dollar striker, Matthias Jorgensen, missed a penalty in the 38th that could have gotten it to 4-2. That is something else. That's over on ESPN Plus, along with this run-up to the playoffs and the playing games on Wednesday, which will not feature either of these teams. And then Saturday will either be at Al Lang Stadium if the Rowdies back into it or find a way to get a result here. Potentially Rowdies on the road. They could potentially go to Louisville should they come back in Memphis. Gadula sort of went Superman diving through. Injured player down is Tejada. Speared forward, flag stays down, Tenari.
Great play by Horde. He's been the man of the match so far for this Hartford team.
Well done by Johnson to strip him, though. Toward Guinzotti, whose beaver trick is still just 4 goals away. They'll come back to a heated confrontation after the fact.
Looks like it was Malik Johnson getting tangled with Alex Davey.
I mentioned it with Loudon, by the way, and there's likely to be a couple of cards that come out of this. Hartford all of a sudden has quite the collection of pelts they've accumulated over the last few weeks. Goodness gracious. Johnson and Gadula.
Gadula, not Davey, actually. I think Gadula's trying to say you might have the wrong man.
Well, Gadula doesn't have a yellow yet, so.
And Alex Davies got his arms around him. Here's Malik Johnson, and it was Gadula who came in late on Johnson. And Gadula with the forearm raised, and Malik Johnson responds with a shove right in front of the referee. So instead of dishing out 2 reds, he's given out 2 yellows, thankfully.
Is it a phone book yet?
It's a phone book right now. The referee's making a concerted effort to make it happen. There's Angulo, who's been very involved in this match, it has to be said.
Rowdies are preparing a couple of substitutes to make their way on, and they may get the chance to do so now. Jan Ekra and Lucky M. Kosana both check in. Oh.
Well, Andrew Tanari has a short rope. He came back from an injury a couple of weeks ago, and he's starting to play himself back into form. But Jan Ekra has also played himself, has now come back from injury and fully fit. And he's very capable of creating chances for this Rowdies team, which makes Tanari having a short rope when he plays. And Coach Collins has seen enough.
M. Kosana and Ekra played together in Harrisburg years ago.
Quick tidbit here, Jan Ekra used to be the roommate for Karim Benzema, the Real Madrid striker.
Yeah?
And when they played for France, U15, U16, and U17. So Jan Ekra has pedigree.
Johnson.
Now here Caleb Richards needs to come around Malik Johnson's back for that cross.
Ekra for Poku. Widening out.
Looks to be Sean Barry over there.
Settles in on Lee. Dalgard joins in.
Well, Sean Barry is waiting for some support, but no white shirts came to help.
All the way to Cropper. Cropper trying to give Hartford, get this, their third shutout of the entire year. And the last one was, you know,
last
10
week?
days ago. right, their last game. You know, you talk with Jimmy Nielsen about it, and he said to you, it's almost hand in hand. When the offense is good, the defense is terrible. When the defense is good, the offense is bad.
Seems like they all got together on the same email this time.
Dalgard. Horde.
Oh, great
excellent ball in front. Pereira went after it. He goes to ground.
Well, what a bit of service by Horde again, this time with the left foot. Pape Diakite coming to the rescue. Here it is again. Outer Horde comes in left side. A teasing ball to the last post. Tarek Marad didn't know where it was. Barrera was on the end of it, and Pape Diakite to the rescue. Important block by the big centre-back. 2-0 down. Would be a lost hope for the Rowdies.
Say this, the way that came into Bedoya and the way his hands went on his head, he smelled a goal.
Yeah. The passing has been so crisp from Hartford, so accurate as well.
Bounding ball gets destroyed by Davey. He's going to be going selectsportamerica.com later tonight. Reimbursement. There it is.
Now, this is the type of style of game the Rowdies needs to play. Have to be patient, get back within their rhythm. When they start to try to play too direct, they start losing possession, and the game starts to fall apart and become untidy.
Richards for Johnson. Over M. Kosana. Lee left something to be desired there. Bounces down. Ekra continues. Referee had a great view of it. Said that was a fair play. And Barrera gets chopped down. A free kick.
But Malik Johnson on a yellow card. The referee's coming across. He's in his last chance saloon, Malik Johnson.
If I'm Johnson, I'm not backpedaling. I am sprinting the other way.
Right.
And I wouldn't be surprised. The Rowdies have a card in already. If they're considering leaving Johnson out, that's the kind of thing that makes you reconsider.
Yes. So the ball is popping up everywhere. Jan Ekra with a lovely touch, and Gadula with a great block. And Malik Johnson comes in and commits the foul.
If Johnson doesn't have a yellow, Well, it's a second yellow. They are going to send off Malik Johnson. And the Rowdies down a goal are going to have to finish this with 10 men. The eyes turn to Barrera's injury. And the Rowdies were hoping they would be able to get a change in and maybe sneak Malik Johnson off the field, but not so lucky.
Looks like the referee had a long look at it, a committee meeting, and then decided to give Malik Johnson his second yellow card. So as a result, two forwards are going to stay up top, Gwenzati and Lucky Mkusana. And it'll be interesting to see what Neil Collins does with the back line. He probably play a 3-4-2. And let's see if Caleb Richards, there's Malik Johnson getting his foot caught in the cookie jar.
There's the yellow and there's the red. I thought he may have been able to escape. Barrera seemed to have escaped any really significant injury. I'm still in shock that Danny Barrera was available when he was. I mean, this is a guy who moved to California at 8 years old, a native of Bogota in Colombia. 150 plus appearances across the second division over a now 8-year career. San Antonio, North Carolina, Sacramento, Fresno, and then this year pops up in Hartford.
And just his 16 games he's played, 4 assists, 42 chances created. Just instant impact.
And Gulo off the second touch. And it's worth noting, Paul Buckle in the front office now in Hartford, the former Sacramento coach. No surprise that Barrera and also, to an extent, Elliott Horde both came in mid-season. Connection there.
Yeah.
Not that Jimmy Nielsen hadn't seen them or been pestered by them when he was with OKC.
Yeah. Wow, he's onside.
And Barrera slips it over, but Doya. Dalgard was still coming, but Doya was most certainly offside, and he walked it back and let Barrera stay.
Smart play, just a heads-up play. Here's Lee.
But Doya took it right off the volley.
Well, after that 25-yard scud missile a week ago, Bedoya had the green light to take the shot, and he did. Excellent cross to the back post by Lee. Here's Bedoya queuing it up. Side-footed it this time. Didn't use the laces. And the ball goes into McCarthy's side netting. This Hartford team has not let up from about the 25th minute in the first half. They've been the aggressor. They've put on a show so far for their fans. And the men in green look like the team that will win this match tonight.
Barrera. Horde. Barrera again. Williams scored in the 47th minute. Malik Johnson was sent off for a second yellow moments ago. 1-0 to Hartford. Rowdies down to 10 men for the duration.
Looks like Seba Gwenzati is now pulled out to that right-hand side defensively. They're probably going to push up top with Lucky Mkusana when they're in possession.
Elsewhere tonight, North Texas in the inaugural year of USL League One lead that final at home, 1-0 in the second half. They're playing Greenville. Arturo Rodriguez scoring at the hour mark. Plenty of results still important here tonight in the Eastern Conference. All on ESPN Plus. You can continue to enjoy the USL on ESPN through 2022. The USL excited to announce the championship and League One remain with the leader in sports 3 more years. ESPN Plus continues to be the home of all things USL, and at least 19 games a year inclusive of the final, will be featured on the ESPN family of networks, including 9 on ESPN Deportes. Continue to follow, support, and watch your club on ESPN and ESPN+. Ball from Richards had no particular target in mind. It does act as a switch.
Turned out to be a perfect pass to Sean Barry.
Yeah. You're Richards' agent now? Take it away off the slide. Ekra, watch out, Guinzotti, and Kosana's through! Lucky and Kosana grabs one back. Watch out, 10-men Rowdies level it up.
The man they call Lucky ties it up, comes in off the bench. Neil Collins plays his trump card, and it works. Rowdy's so effective on counter pressing, breaks the play up just in front of the Hartford box, and that's when they are their most dangerous. Here it is. Jordan Doherty gets a foot on it, taps it to Ekra. Ekra with the vision. Guinzotti to M. Kosana, and M. Kosana with what a cool finish. Looks up, sees Cropper, and tucks it away. 1-1 in Hartford. And if those hair nets are falling off, please reinsert.
That is his 10th goal this year. 4 for Louisville, then traded in the Antoine Hopino trade midseason to the Rowdies. It's his 6th for the Rowdies in 16 games.
And that'll be his 10th for the season, right?
Yes.
Overall.
Not a bad
showing.
No. He had 11 goals for Penn FC last year, 14 for what were then the Harrisburg City Islanders in 2013. And between then, stopped with the Rowdies in 2013 and 2014, bounced into the New York Cosmos briefly, and never quite found that same scoring touch, but he's got it right now.
He's a great partner for Sebastian Guinzotti. He plays off of the ball so well, doesn't need the ball to his feet, and that's why the trade with Antoine Hopino worked out so well for both teams. Hopino, a type of striker that likes the ball played to his feet, and in that tiki-taka style that Lou City plays, perfect blend for him. Lucky M. Kosana is a runner off the ball, and up top for this in this 3-5-2 formation, the ball is often played ahead of you, like it was just now. And so more chances are available for M. Kosana in this system, as it would have been for Lou City.
So what does it mean right now around the championship? This does leave Tampa Bay in position to keep the 4 seed pending the result between Louisville and Memphis. Memphis leads that game with a goal in the first 10 minutes from Pierre De Silva. Nashville now leads Atlanta United 2 by way of a set-piece goal through Forrest Lasso. Nashville would win the East pending the result for Pittsburgh tomorrow. Pittsburgh plays Birmingham. Pittsburgh could reclaim the top spot in the East.
Wow.
Loudon up 5-1 against New York. North Carolina and St. Louis scoreless now in the 74th minute. St. Louis fails to find a goal in 15 minutes, and they're out of the playoffs. Birmingham backs into the postseason as the number 10 seed. Catch all that?
Yeah, I'm still spinning here from your first comments. So.
Oh man, oh man.
What a night. Decision night in the USL.
This lifted over the crossbar with venom from Jose Angulo, who, to your point earlier, wears that number 9 and is never afraid to shoot.
Has never seen a shot he hasn't liked yet, Mike. And Angulo just a half chance, just a little bit of daylight here. Here it is, comes in from Lee. He turns, sees the 18-yard box and cracks one over the bar. So the Colombian here's Ekra now. Started that move that finished with M. Kosana.
This isn't over yet. Poku gets a little knock from behind. Ekra! M. Kosana let that through. He could have struck that off the volley and knocked the netting right off the posts. Doherty plays it forward. Played out by Guinzotti. White shirts banding together in the box. Malik Johnson was sent off in the 67th. As the Rowdies Twitter feed has since made known, we're better with 10 anyways. They have since equalized. Bouncing ball, kept in, and right at Cropper.
You know, Soccer is such a funny sport. Here comes those subs.
Well, on comes Vucic. And Gulo is done. Those two were teammates in Oklahoma City, striking partners. Vucic on. And also, it's Philip Rasmussen who comes on. 2 of the 3 available substitutes to Jimmy Nielsen.
Philip Rasmussen started that game back in Tampa, back in April. I'm sure he wants some sort of sweet revenge tonight. But undoubtedly, Vucic has the best name in USL Championship.
And I'm still convinced everyone's been pronouncing it wrong. I've been told it's a certain way. I can't guarantee it.
I like the way it sounds here, and I hope Vucic appreciates that.
I was on ESPN News 10 days ago calling the Birmingham game. I politely called him a dump truck of a human being, trying to be as positive as possible. That aroused some suspicion on Twitter that was meant as a negative. I must confess, I've been a fan of Vucic for a while.
You've used different adjectives in your time before. Certainly there was another one in the bank you could have drawn on.
He's a freakish athlete. It's meant in the kindest of ways. Hartford Athletic proud to welcome Stanley Black & Decker as a founding partner. Stay tuned each week. The Stanley Innovative Play of the Game coming up. Mere minutes as the regular season is spiraling toward conclusion. Injured player down top of the 18. And the referee now has gotten assistance from his AR, deciding the best way to move forward.
Well, good job by the referee, just stopping the play, going to talk to the linesman, try to hear what the linesman saw and make a decision.
All right, let's see. Yeah, Diakite picks up a yellow.
It's going to be a free kick on the top of the box. Now, is this going to be an indirect free kick or a direct free kick? It remains to be seen. Here's the width to the ever overlapping horde, and there it is. Diakite trying to find Rasmussen with his left hand, and Rasmussen, of course, went down like he was shot by a sniper. There's a bit of a committee around the ball. We have Williams, who scored a goal already tonight. We have Bedoya with the left foot. Can Hartford put another stake in the Rowdies' heart here?
This would be as big a stake as they could use here. I mean, a goal at this stage of the game with Rowdies just recently getting back in it and down to 10 men, it'd be a big ask. It's Barrera off the wall. Everybody scatters. Dalgard kept it alive. DeVitt! Well, that rung off a Rowdy player and leads to a corner.
Well, Sam DeVitt, only 1 goal thus far this season, almost got goal number 2. Ball hit the wall, it popped back out, and here comes the big Dutchman. Gets all 10 laces on the ball, and it just goes wide.
Here's your goal scorer for Hartford, set to take the corner, Williams. Williams toward Vucic, knocked down by DeVitt Lee. Sends it flying out of Hartford proper.
So Rowdies survive another Hartford sequence. Down to 10 men. Can they put together a possession or 2 to get a second goal and cement that 4th spot?
Taken away by Rasmussen. Touches inward, finds Barrera. Horde percolating.
Good patience by this Hartford team. They know the Rowdies want a result. The team in white has to force the tempo, taking their time with possession here.
Gadula holding up play. Vucic was offside. Diakite and Vucic are having words. Diakite is on a yellow from that previous run-in.
Pape Diakite does have a history of losing his temper, and the Rowdies are quick to get on him and try to calm him down.
For what it's worth, that was his 11th yellow card of the year earlier. However, he got one rescinded for good behavior along the way.
He has his own phone book, by the way, Mike, with 11 yellow cards.
Well, some keep the ball from their first goal. I bet he kept the card from his first sending off. Davey comes off, the center back, replaced by Nicky Downs, the native of Lakeville, Connecticut. Hotchkiss School on to Yale. Elsewhere, Louisville has just tied their match at Memphis, and so the pressure is very much back on the Rowdies. Meanwhile, Red Bulls 2 have gone down essentially with a whimper. They're now down 6-1 to Loudon. Poku, 6-1. I mean, really? I'm in shock.
I think New York is still in New York. I don't think they actually ever showed up against Loudon. Loudon is just kicking the ball into the net and blowing the whistle. That's it.
Did you see the League MX game, the pay standoff yesterday? The team actually stood there and let Andre Pierre-Gignac score in their net.
What a time to take a stance.
Veracruz and Tigres, right?
Yes, it was Tigres that stood up.
Well, it's Tigres who scored all the goals. Oh. They didn't know what to do.
They're Loudon.
Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. We're into the final 5 minutes plus stoppage here.
Sean Barry scoring that opening goal in Ireland this season. Can he come up with another?
Offside flag is up here. If you're Hartford, I know there's a thought, it's nice to get a result to close out your year, but this is house money, right? Let's do it, right?
You get to be Lex Luthor for the night. You get to be the villain. It's Halloween next week, Mike. This is the perfect character to play.
Jaime Siaj comes on. Poku will slowly wander off. A lower division hero, a rock star to NYCFC fans in the early going of their MLS journey. Siaj really highly rated by this Tampa Bay organization. Fans of the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy, allowing clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth, compete at the highest level across the USA, including the USL Academy Cup. More information, uslsoccer.com/academy. And the Academy Cup was ongoing this past week. Exciting times.
Siaj.
Settled. Yeah, Siaj on the move. Siaj for the back post.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Gonzati.
How in the world did he wrangle that?
Just effort.
Slides down, Lee blasts it away.
That was pure effort by the captain. Jaime Siaj has come on and is oozing effort right now. Exactly what Coach Colin wants. Rowdies bringing on that sort of extra forward to partner up with Lucky Nkosana and Wenzati, which means they're about to go very direct in the next 5 minutes.
If results hold right now, Louisville would finish a point behind the Rowdies. The Rowdies do hold the tiebreaker if they finished level, but that's not possible anymore.
Good distribution by McCarthy.
Away from Barrera. Hartford Athletic invites supporters to join our title partner Trinity Health of New England's 61-day challenge. For more information on this nutrition challenge and to sign the pledge, trinityhealthofne.org. Come find me at Christmas, see how I did.
Oh, good touch by Siaj.
And turning through and continuing on, Doherty. Collapsing over it is Cropper. We're in the 89th minute now.
Jordan Doherty's only had like a handful of shots all season long. That was an excellent effort by him.
You came in excited to talk about what he's done. Emko Sana played into the channel. Emko Sana striking across. Not a bad idea for Quinzati. It'd be tough to tell me right now that the Rowdies are the one with 10 men.
Hartford going to the ropes here.
Barry.
Oh, great control by Bedoya. Sorry, Barrera.
It's maybe been a little slick out there. We've seen Quinzati go down a few times. Now Vucic.
Complete lack of movement right now for the Rowdies.
Akra for Quinzati. Quinzati wants to play. Plenty of stoppage lies ahead as a red card occurred in this half. 2 goals and the full allotment of subs along the way.
This is the point here in this sequence where Jan Ekra and Kwadu Puku, Jan Ekra has to make himself available.
Vucic on an island with Diakite. Hartford will close out their season next week. It won't be a USL Championship match. Struggle here, Quinzati nearly got there before Cropper, and the aggressive goalkeeper able to keep the Rowdies from that go-ahead goal.
Well, as soon as that ball hit the ground, it was off to the races, and Seba Quinzati almost got number 19 for the year. That would have been a poacher's goal by the Uruguayan.
Settled down and played through. Quinzati! Gadula! Cool as you like. He could have put sunglasses on while he slid through that.
What a tackle by number 24. Seba Quinzati closing in on goal. And Gadula, who's had a great night all night, with another game-saving tackle.
Good move, and the cross. Akra diving down. Cropper pulls it tight. Elsewhere, North Texas leads the League One final in the 85th minute now. In the USL Championship, Memphis and Louisville level. Nashville up 3-0 against Atlanta. It means Pittsburgh needs to win tomorrow against Birmingham to be the #1 seed. And St. Louis in the 90th minute needing a goal against North Carolina to make the playoffs at all. Otherwise, Birmingham clinches the final spot in the East. But still action here with Siaj in on Horde. Deflects away. Rasmussen helping to combine to get it free.
Beautiful by Hartford. Look at this counter-attack.
Rasmussen slows to a crawl.
All started with Ryan Williams' distribution in his own box. That was just beautiful to watch.
Downs! Well, that would have been a goal for the state of Connecticut if he puts it in.
What a comeback that would have been for Downs to get a goal.
He's never scored a professional goal.
These opportunities are going to happen for Hartford. The more the Rowdies push forward to try and find this winner, and only down to 10 men.
Slipped ahead again. Vucic! Well, the flag was up, didn't matter. Offside, 2 minutes to go. The Rowdies right now are leaving their fate in Louisville and Memphis's hands if this stands. But right now it would be enough to keep the #4 seed. A win guarantees it. They cannot move to 3. Indy 11 is on a bye, but they have passed by Tampa Bay. Look at all the green shirts forward. Lee for Fuchik! Hartford is going to win it! Up and down. It's going to finish with an up for Hartford Athletic.
Could you believe it? Looks like it was Raymond Lee coming around the backside, does everything perfect all game long, and a pitch him across, and the super sub comes in and wraps it up for Hartford. Look at the header, just glances it on, but look at the power he gets. That was all because of the service by Lee. And Hartford Athletic repays its fans with a brilliant display of soccer tonight, pegging the Rowdies back 2-1 in the dying embers of this game.
Elsewhere, North Carolina just scored in stoppage time. St. Louis would be out, Birmingham in. Rowdies right now in 4th, but maybe not for long. Louisville now controls their destiny to be the number 4 seed. And Hartford could close here on a 2-game win streak.
Well, now it's just hit and hope time for the Rowdies. As you cross the half, you just bomb it into the box and hope Benzati, Mkosana or Siage can get their head on it and knock it down for somebody else. But what a display by Hartford Athletic. From after the 20th minute in the first half, the tide turned and the boys in green and blue have put on a display. They've played between the passing lanes. They've come around the sides with Horde and Lee. Jose Angulo tried multiple shots from multiple angles. And in the end, Ryan Williams and Vucic have put their names on the scoring charts.
Referees looked at his watch yet again. This will be a 6th win in Hartford city limits. And they're 5th at Dillon Stadium. An early season slog, too much for them to overcome. They're going to close this expansion season on an incredible high if they can hold on. Full-time whistle, what a win for Hartford! Fuchik, 3 minutes into stoppage time. And Tampa Bay heads to the dressing room and flip on ESPN Plus. They're going to be watching Memphis and Louisville, waiting to see if they're home or it's slugger to open their playoffs.
Well, David just knocked Goliath on his pants. Ryan Williams, man of the match, with a beautiful left-footed strike to open the scoring, but that was not all. He provided service, he provided creativity for this Hartford team, and he led them in spirit. And this Hartford team, this young Hartford team, put a performance for their fans to remember for the whole season. And what a time for it to come, Mike, in the final 90 minutes in Dillon Stadium.
All of a sudden, Neil Collins' side look like they are sliding into the playoffs. The quarterfinals begin on Saturday. They don't know if they're going to Louisville or if they're going to be at Al Lang Stadium. And Hartford Athletic close out the USL Championship 2019 season with a 2-1 win that everyone here is going to remember. We'll wrap this one up when we return.
That goal, you don't blame nobody on the goal. got the second place like that. He's in the box to shoot. Since we started the first half, he's just chilling. He's just chilling, looking at everybody. That team that's only that team that's 30 minutes, guys, that's a fucking shit. That's a shit. Keep your head up. That's a fucking shit. He keeps coming like he's the boss in the team. That's a shit. He needs to open more. Like he played in Real Madrid or something. Let's go.
Wow. St. Louis out, Birmingham in, Nashville currently in position to get the #1 seed. The Rowdies lose. Red Bulls get blasted. Louisville level in Memphis. That game on ESPN Plus right now. And Hartford closes out the year with a 2-1 victory against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. And they have collected another scalp, another pelt. Ryan, pretty impressive.
It's been the story of the USL Championship East Division all year long. They have outlasted, they've outplayed each other for 90 minutes for 34 games. And now we still don't know where the chips are going to land. We're still hanging on to our hairnets as we speak.
Let's take a look at our Stanley Black & Decker innovative play of the game. And, well, this has got to be it. 90+3 game winner.
Super sub, Vucic, and the greatest name in USL Championship history, Vucic, just glances this one into the last post. John McCarthy had no chance. But what about this service by Raymond Lee? He's been perfect all 90 minutes long. And he does it again in the 94th. Hartford win it and deserved winners at that. Coach Nielsen, not sure what he said to his merry men, but he led them from minute 1. And they played like they had a chip on their shoulder and something to prove.
And they leave merrier than they came. Season ticket renewals have begun. New season ticket members can stay tuned for more information. Passion, pride, perks. Become a member. Get all the best benefits. HartfordAthletic.com/tickets for more information. And don't forget, the season's not over. Hartford will take on the reigning Jamaican National Premier League champion, Portmore United, at Dillon Stadium next week. And everyone's excited to see what they bring to the table. Let's take a look at the full-time highlights from this affair. And from the opening whistle, we knew the Rowdies would only accept a win for their services tonight. They would not find it. They did find a decent opportunity or two in a scoreless first half.
Well, Caleb Richards from the left-hand side finding Juan Tejada, who tried to flick it on, just like Vucic did in the dying minutes, but didn't get the same result. But Hartford worked their way in. It was Horde on that right-hand side who was running riot. Here he is, a chip from the byline. Ball pops out to Ryan Williams, and with the finish, Romario-esque, hits the post, goes inside, 1-0 Hartford, and a deserving 1-0 lead at that.
That is a USL Championship deep cut, folks. I mean, that is, you got to be around a while. Ryan
That's
Williams scores in the 43rd, elicits comparisons to one of the great goal scorers in league history. This is where it all changed. 67th minute, second yellow to Johnson.
Well, Rowdies trying to claw their way back in. Malik Johnson got a yellow card a little bit before. This time comes in late and takes out Barrera and gets his second yellow. But here comes Hartford right back at you.
Problem is,
Rowdies with their counter press wins it. Jan Ekra to Gwenzati, and M. Kosana doing what he does best, puts the ball into the old onion bag, as somebody famous would say, and it's 1-1, brand new ball game.
Shout out Tommy.
That's right. So lucky M. Kosana, goal scorer at heart, does it again.
And the 74th, Rowdies had their chances to try and grab a win here. They left it all the way to the death.
Jordan Doherty looks up, tries to take a shot. Good tackle by DeWitt to throw him off. And that was all she wrote for the Rowdies. Here it is again. We have Jaime Siage finds Seba Gwenzati. And what a tackle that was by Gadula, who had a great game and finished it off with a game-saving tackle. Sean Barry comes in on his left foot. Jan Ekro with the header. And Cody Cropper with a comfortable save. And Hartford Athletic won't finish yet. Raymond Lee, one more thing to do. Vucic with the finish. Hartford on their feet. The crowd goes crazy. The left back to the center forward. And it's 2-1. The home team. David just beats Goliath in Dillon Stadium.
They've done it again. They beat another playoff team. Too little too late for Hartford in the grand scheme, Ryan, but you look at the grand scheme of this game. Rowdies had their chances to lock up the 4 seed and simply couldn't. As good as they've been on the road in this magical season, they come up short, and now they're watching another game.
Yeah, just looking at them taking that, not creating clear-cut chances, but only sort of half chances with all that possession. Hartford, we have to tip our hats to them. Only 46% possession, but look at 16 shots they had. Now, Jose Angulo had about 12, but still, the effort was there, the intention was there, and Hartford deservedly won the game tonight.
Here's your full-time match stats, and, well, stats don't tell the whole story for this Hartford team this year. It was one painted with early struggles, a team trying to figure things out, injuries and players making their way in, making their way out. ESPN Plus has all your coverage for ongoing games around the championship, but this one ends the way Hartford always dreamed. For Justin Cohen, Jose Bueso, Miguel Manella, our entire team, Ryan Davis, Mike Watts saying good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.